Good morning, Vietnam. Anyway, back to being serious. I got asked a question today about why we use starting blocks. Let me tell you a bit more about them. Alright, in front of us are starting blocks. Different colours, different shapes, different sizes, different molds, different makes, different brands. Okay, as you see, they've got two platforms. One here and one here. And you put your feet on each one of them. Just to give you a little bit more information about blocks, they're quite heavy and have to be lifted with two hands. And if you notice, they've got spikes on the bottom of them. Okay, with the spikes being there, they're deliberately there. So when you put the block into the ground, you step on it and it gives it a firm grip. The block can be maneuvered just literally by lifting it forward and backwards. You also want to have it quite center so it allows your body to go in a straight direction. If for whatever reason your block so happened to be positioned at this side of the track, undoubtedly you're going to run to the left. The footing, or where your feet are placed, can be adjusted. This is all specific to the individual and enables you to move out in different directions. Using my shoe as an example, I put the block plate at its highest maximum, and you can see how much of an influence it's having on the foot angle, so you have to be very aware of that. Now, looking at it, the block plate is at its lowest angle. Now look at the difference between the foot angle of the shoe that's in the block when it's at this stage. There are a number of ways where you can place your foot on the block. Some people have a little bit of their toe on the ground. Some people have their foot really high up here. Every athlete is different and everyone's foot placement is different. I find having a little bit of my foot on the track sets my toes up for the next step. The beauty about keeping your toes quite close to the surface of the track, it prepares your toes to already be prepared for the next step. So when you run and you land, you're already running in that angle. Should you be an athlete that decides to put your foot a lot higher on the block, then a lot of your energy is going to be focused on just behind your big toe. Where we decide to start from here or down there, but the moment you push off the block, that angle that you started off with, you want to make sure you land at that angle. What separates the top boys from the bottom boys and the top girls from the bottom girls is they're able to keep this angle all the time for each step. If you're an athlete that runs and constantly lands and collapses, lands and collapses, lands and collapses, you're going to run slow. Simple as that. When you run, keep that angle. Avoid collapsing. My key word is keep your heels off the ground. Simple as that. If you have the ability to keep on landing in this angle and maintain this position, it's only going to take you in one direction, and that's forward. And ultimately, that's where you want to go when you're running. The downside to this is if you land here and collapse, you're going to be having a seesaw effect, and that's going to waste time, energy, and result in poor performance. Okay, so we touched on a little bit of information about the blocks, what they do, and how to place your feet. So now I'm going to tell you why we use them. Look at those dentures. Why do we use starting blocks? There's a number of reasons, from different theories. Mine, keep it pretty simple. We use them as a vehicle to help propel us from a low crouching position to an angle which enables us to set up our running. You can run fast without blocks. However, you do get an advantage by using blocks. Think about this. When you're in a starting position, you're going to compress your body just like you're compressing a spring. And the blocks help keep that tension, providing you'll get yourself into a right running position and you've got the right mindset to get yourself out of that running position. Once you're going from on your marks to then get set, where you raise your hips up a little bit, the tension that you keep from getting in the block, you have to keep when you get into the set position. This is very important because there's no point me getting a spring, compressing the spring. Then when I get into the set position, I ease pressure off the spring. You're going to lose all that energy that you've built up and tension to get you out of that block at maximal effort. So when you're there, when the guy says, athletes on your marks, you stand up. When he says get set, this is where you compress all your tension down to a point where you're almost uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable to the point where you're like, oh, I'm going to full start or I need to get out of this position. But be in a position and a mindset where when that man says set, you're going to come up and you're going to keep even more tension. Keep good tension on your toes. These are the points that you're going to have to use. Keep good tension on your toes. Keep good tension on them. So when you run, you keep that tension. That was a good example, but keep that tension. So when you burst out, all the effort you've held will carry you to whatever time or place that you need to achieve for this period of time. That was just my little brief introduction to training. I hope it helps. I'll keep you posted for some more. Lay it down, open the door, and go and score. Later.